Hi, this is Joanna Lewis of Commission Outreach Church, and I am so grateful to be able to share with you a summary of our series from last month, Loving God Through Loving People, with Pastor Robert G. Lewis. In that series, we started with Jonah and looking at the fact that Jonah did not want to carry the message God had given to him to the people of Nineveh, because he knew that God was a loving God and that he would forgive them. In the same way, today we may have a situation where we work with someone who has thrown us under the bus. We may have people that we have disagreed with, knocked out, dragged out fights with. And God may turn around and give us a message to carry to that very person. And so we, like Jonah, have to be able to get over ourselves and our own feelings and maybe in hurts of what may have happened in order to be able to do what God has told us to do and take that message of compassion and love to our enemies. And sometimes it may not even be an enemy that you don't want to take it to. It may be somebody who is of a different socioeconomic status than you. It may be somebody that's of a different culture than you, that you might be uncomfortable with carrying that message to, but you have to remember that you need to push past that and show God's love. Demonstrate that you love God through loving God's people and taking that message where He tells you to take it. We also looked at the Good Samaritan, and in the story of the Good Samaritan, many of you are familiar with the story. There is a man who has been beaten down. He's been left on the side of the road to die. And in the story, we have two people that come in first, which is the priest and the Levite. And these two decide, they're like, okay, I don't see it. I'm not acknowledging it. I'm not even going to help. They just walk on the other side of the road. But then you have the Good Samaritan, who is the person that is the least likely to follow through with doing something, or that you would think that would help with this person. And so, but instead the Good Samaritan comes in. He not only puts oil on the wounds to help heal, he takes them and he puts them into an inn. He covers the expenses at the inn, and he lets them know, hey, anything that comes up, anything that he needs, take care of it. When I come back, I'll settle any bills. I'll make sure that everything is settled. He goes above and beyond because he had one key thing, and that was compassion. He saw his brother in need and he did something about it. He wasn't just going to walk by and pretend like he didn't see it. He was going to make sure that he demonstrated compassion by not just saying something, but doing something to assist him. And that's the same thing that we're supposed to do as Christians. We're supposed to be God's hands and feet. That means that we should have our eyes open, our spirit open. We should be looking around for people who have a need, people who might need a word of encouragement, people who might need some assistance financially, people who might just need to feel to be in the presence of God, people who might need to, who have never heard the gospel. Our eyes should always be open, looking through the eyes of God to be able to reach the people who need to be reached. And the way that we can do that is through compassion. And also, as we went through the series, through having a relationship with God, being in prayer, being in His Word, because all of those things are going to be able to start enabling us to truly be the salt of the earth, to truly be able to demonstrate the fruit of the Spirit. If we're filled with the Word, if we're overflowing with it, we're going to overflow with joy. We're going to overflow with kindness. We're going to overflow with love. And those things are going to draw people in. And they're also going to prepare our mind and our heart to be able to love our neighbor as ourselves. They're going to prepare our mind and our heart to be able to love our enemy and to be able to demonstrate God's love and God's great compassion in spite of what we feel in and of ourselves. So I'm glad that you took the time out to be able to sit in and listen to this today. If you missed the series, you can go on to our website at commissionoc.org so that you can recap some of the sermons from this month. But I also encourage you to come out on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. to be able to experience the Word for yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in, and God bless.